Hey guys, you are talking to Ree, where I come to talk to you about what I have either read in the blogs, watched on TV, or heard in these streets. Today it is about what I have watched on TV with a little bit about what we have heard in these streets. Very little, but we're still going to address it. So this is Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 45 review. I have been reviewing the later part of this season, and honestly, I've been loving you guys' feedback. As I said, we are going to grow this channel together. I love you guys so much, those who have come around and stuck around. And for the new people, I hope you guys stick around as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I want to hear from you as well. Make sure you comment. Hit the like button if you like what you hear. This episode gave us a little bit of something, but didn't really give us too much. So we're going to wrap this up rather shortly. At least I would try to keep it as short as possible. So let's get some of the couples that gave us nothing out of the way. Let's get Cameron and Eris out of the way. Okay, Cameron is in the studio. Meanwhile, while Eris is saying that he needs to get a job because she needs a second income to go and help fund the new home that they have in Florida. The end. That's really all they really gave us. Okay, so he's in the studio. He's like, listen, me being in the studio is work. My guy, where is the money? You being in the studio is you actually taking money out of the household because it costs for studio time. So where is the money, as in that you are bringing in to the household? And we are talking about legally. That is what Eris is on. He comes home super late. They argue. She makes him sleep on the couch. The end. We move on. Taylor and Chance, if you remember, we ended last episode with her burning his items because she find out that he's been talking to other people. Well, she says that he has been on dating sites, and he's like, no, this spam. I haven't been on no dating sites. It's all spam. I don't know who to believe in that, you know. I mean, how would she confuse spam with actually you having a profile? I don't know. I mean, maybe, you know, Taylor got it wrong. Either way, they go and they move past it. They move further along because honestly, she doesn't have time to focus on this right now. She has to be induced to give birth. That's right. She is going into labor. So we leave off where Bobby, the sister, comes back to spend time with the kids. She says she did not want to miss the birth of her nephew. She knew that this was an important time. However, when they get to the hospital, Bobby cannot be there due to personal traumas and triggers from her. Because if you recall, Bobby has a drug problem that she is working very hard to overcome. So hospital stays for her is reminiscence to the multiple overdose that she has had in the past. So she leaves from there. Chance is like, you know, giving a hard time, like, oh my God, I can't believe she did it, this and that, forgetting that he himself has battled a drug problem in the past. So it's very much hypocritical instead of just showing support. But Chance has never showed Bobby support, so there's nothing new there. But she is in the hospital. She is ready to give birth. She is going through some of the pain session. That's where we leave off on. And it is just very reminiscent to really love on our mothers. Because here's the thing. Taylor is a high-risk pregnancy. Why is she high risk? She has a blood clot disorder. And in the past, when it was time for her to give birth to a son, the baby died and she nearly died. So she is super nervous about this. She is worried about that disorder. And we are worried for her. But you know what? I mean, moments like this just help us realize that how important our mothers are. Because a woman, yes, babies are born every minute. We get that. But we also forget that a woman risks her life every single time she brings a baby into the world. Love on our moms. Love on the women in your life. Love on your children. Just let this be a reminder of just how important women are and just how special they are, because a woman risks her life every time she gives birth. Don't let these doctors and these millions of babies being born every minute make you forget that. Please don't let you guys forget that. My high school classmate, who was our class president, died after giving birth back in 2018. Went to the funeral and all of that. So it is very important and critical that you guys remember that childbirth is really precious and it's really a tough time for women. So just want to get that out the way. Let's move on Glad that we got that speech over with. Okay, Brittany and Marcelino, why on God's green earth are they back? Producers, what made you bring them back, especially in the middle of the season? But you know what? That goes into what I've read in the blogs, what I said we were going to address. So apparently, Derek and Monique, if you guys recall, that we have all been fascinating over. Well, Derek's sister comes forth, and Derek's sister Elizabeth is the one I'm speaking of, comes forth and says that they have been fired from the show. And the reason why they have been fired is that allegedly Derek and Monique has been having physical altercations, right? Saying that apparently that Derek is hitting on Monique. We don't know as far as what's going on. I hope that that's not the case. But from what we're hearing is that they're fired. So maybe that explains why we got Brittany and Marcelino in the middle of the season. I don't know, but there was no reason. I'd rather you guys just leave it an empty slot and just leave it with 5, 6 couples. No, it's 6, I believe it is. Couples, if that needs to be. Do not bring them back. Like, there was nothing that they gave us last time. There's nothing that they're going to give us this time. We are really, truly over them. We've been over them. But, okay, let's get them quickly out of the way. They have moved from Vegas to Florida, okay? Now, Brittany is enjoying it. She is enjoying the serenity of it all. She's enjoying the peacefulness of it all. Marcelino, not so much. Marcelino is a gambling man. He makes his money gambling. He is a poker man. That is how he feeds his family. His up marks, there are low marks, but regardless, that's how he feeds his family. He can't seem to do that in Florida, so he is miserable. Well, Brittany has a suggestion for him. Get a job. Get a job that does not involve gambling, Marcelino. Get a 9 to 5. Get something outside of you potentially blowing your household's money. Okay, figure something out. You know what? Learn to trade. I don't know. Say trade options, the stock market. I don't know, but definitely get you something else. Find something else to do because we really don't have time for this. We move on. Now we got Sean and Sarah. Sarah is fiddling around with water balloons because she wants to decide like how big she wants to go up in the boob department. Sean is looking kind of curious, like, why are you all of a sudden all into your looks? First off, Sean, she's always been into her looks. Isn't that how you got her? You didn't marry this young tenderoni because she looked like your baby mama, the mother of the 6 kids. No, you got into her because of her looks. And she was a young little hot tenderoni. So regardless, with or without the side situation that's going on, she still would have gone to get her boobs done. I strongly believe that. But let's move on. He goes, kept pressuring her like, hey, what's going on? Because clearly you're into other things. I'm rolling up the eyes because I'm just like, okay, we already know where this is leading towards with this bogus storyline. Like, no one just immediately decides you're into something after a woman suggests a boob job, especially after she just gave birth to your child and her body is going through changes. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? But regardless, we get her to confess that, what, she has went ahead and taking her eldest daughter to go and see her biological father. Okay, I forget the guy's name. I forgot to write it down, guys. But she tells Sean this. Sean is upset about it, and he's just like, well, why didn't you tell me? I mean, I thought that you wouldn't want to run a family, this and that. And she's like, well, yeah, like I didn't think there would be something that I would need to tell because, I was trying to see if he's like back on drugs or whatever. But he's been clean, at least for this little bit of like, I don't know, all of 5 minutes. So I decided to go and bring the child that he's never had any dealings with around him. Now, here's the thing. Even though I'm rolling my eyes at the matter, I'm probably like, huh? But at the same time, every child deserves to know who their father is. But also, you didn't even tell the child that was her father. So then there's that. I don't know when it comes to Sarah. But here's the thing. Even though this is Sarah's decision to decide, I get that. She still should have discussed it with her husband. Regardless, it's still her decision because it is her biological child and it's the betterment of what they decide to do with the child and the father. However, as a bonus parent that Sean is supposed to be and also as your husband, you still should have had that conversation with him. Not saying that his decision is the end all be all, but at least letting him know the situation of what's going on. So she is wrong in that sense, and I can understand why Sean is upset, because you going behind the back does make it look like you still got feelings for this guy, and we all know that she does. So then there's that, like, let's be clear. She married Sean for stability. The girl had just got out of prison, okay? But that baby father that she got history with, oh no. And he looks like around her age group and someone that she still wants to go ahead and get between the sheets with. Let me tell you something. Sarah probably would have gotten behind the sheets if it wasn't for these cameras. I'm just going to call it like I see it. Okay? But, we move on. We have no proof of that, so let's keep going. Lindsay and Blaine. That's another couple that do not bring them back next season. I pray, but we move on. They want us to go. They want to convince us that an ankle monitor that this man cannot take off. You got to keep him on an ankle monitor. Even when they go to shower, it is on the entire time. You are living with this man. Y'all are running around this house, having fun, naked, all of that stuff. You are lying to me if you want me to believe that your first time seeing that ankle monitor, it's on TV while, you are playing around acting like you're trying to have sex. Like the scripting of this whole thing is just pathetic. Bring back the real storylines. Jesus Christ. There's only so much of this that I can take, but fine, we'll go ahead and we'll review it. So she finds out about the ankle monitor. She's upset. And at first I'm rolling my eyes like, girl, whatever. But then she goes and she makes a decent point where she says, listen, I am on probation. You're hiding that from me. And I have to go and tell my probation officer that no, not that this just happened, but that this has been ongoing, but I'm just now finding out about it, which puts her at a tough spot. Okay, granted, that makes a whole lot of sense. I would be equally as upset if this was real. I'm so done with them. Let's move on. Let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Well, it's not really the meat and the potato, but this is like where the bulk of things was Puppy and Eric. Okay? Last episode, we leave off where Puppy tells her mom that, Eric was cheating on her with his ex-wife, and she doesn't know how to go about it from there. Okay. Afterwards, this episode, we start off with Erica saying, listen, Eric, why I say Erica? Eric saying, listen, Puppy, come on, let's go. It's time for us to go. So she leaves from her mom. They get up inside the car. He's like, what were y'all talking about? Because the energy was off when I came back, right? Okay, she tells him, listen, we're only talking about, it's not like we're talking about something new. We're talking about something that you already know about. They get to arguing in the car. And, let me tell you something. The way that Eric raised his hand up and then had to retrieve as if he remembered there are cameras in this car tells me that they really be fighting up in their home. Tells me that I would not be shocked if Eric was abusing Puppy. I pray not, and I'm not saying that I know that for a fact as if I'm sitting in their home. But the way he raised that fist in that car and caught himself as if, whoo, girl, you looking for these cameras. That literally sent like red flags to me where I was like, now hold on. What's going on here? And so then as she pulls the car over, he gets out of the car to tell the producers like, listen, we're done with this filming. And she speeds off. A part of me was like, yes, Puppy, screw him. But then the other part of me was scared for her. Because that means you just really pissed him off. And if this dude is abusive, that means he gonna get home and tear your tail up. But I hope that's not the case. I am really hoping that is not the case. Okay. Afterwards, she meets up the following day back over to her mom's house. She calls Amber to meet her as well. They're all talking. She tells him the situation. She's like, listen, I gotta get away. But she says, I don't know how. Puppy is very dependent, as I've been saying this whole time. And it really makes me question her upbringing, because I'm like, she has like no drive in her. Like Puppy is just very depressed. Like she's depressed. We can see it. She's dependent on whoever. And it's just depression and dependent is how she ended up with somebody like Eric. Let's be real. right? So she's trying to figure it out, but I don't know. Like I would say, a part of me is rooting for her, but a part of me still remembers her getting drunk and wasted and swimming in a pool of the people's home that she was hired to clean. Like, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, she does need to get away from Eric. So that is the wrap up of this episode. I want to hear everybody's thoughts. I want to hear, do you guys think that, Eric is abusing Puppy? I hope not. I hope that's just in my head. But, do you guys think that? Do you guys want Monique and Derek back on our screen? I mean, listen, they got on my nerves, but they definitely were entertaining. Way more entertaining than a Brittany and a Marcelina. Get Marcelino and Brittany off of our screen. So I want to hear everyone's thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys next time. See you later, guys.